Thanks, Stefan. I hope my slides are visible.
Yes, it's not yet the what do you call it? Yes, perfect.
Okay. So I'll be today talking about land atmospheric feedback. So what it tells us about why land is important. What is the importance of land? Because whenever we are talking about the water cycle, we are normally consider something is happening over the atmosphere. It The signal from atmosphere reaches land through precipitation, and the hydrological cycle gets affected, and so on. But what we keep on ignoring sometimes is that the land is also sending a lot of feedback to the atmosphere, and this has a lot of significance even for regions like India, which is predominantly governed by monsoon, which is a large scale pattern. Even within this large scale pattern, there are a lot of importance of the land. What exactly you are doing on land that has huge significance on monsoon variability. And this is the area on which we have been working since 2012. Here are some of my doctoral students who have graduated and who are working. My Pathak, Anjana Devanand, Sachin Budakati, and Tejasvi Chauhan. So what I'm doing, I'm just trying to sort of highlighting some of their results or some of their work to explain why land is important even for monsoon. So I'll first go back to one of the very nice and famous paper which was written by Stefan et al, which is probably not quite well known to you, which came in PNAS, where it was mentioned that Earth is going from Holocene, Anthropocene, and so on, and when it will cross a certain threshold, then probably it will be a hothouse Earth. And if it doesn't, if we are careful, then probably will be somewhere here in stabilized Earth. But what question he has posed is that when it is crossing the planetary threshold, probably during that time or during the crossing of threshold or crossing of tipping point, probably feedbacks will be very, very important, and we have to consider the feedbacks properly to really understand the tipping points and so on. But there is a challenge. Why there is a challenge? Because we do not understand our biosystem properly, or we do not know how to model them, how to understand them, or how to get signal out of them. And that is a real challenge, which was again mentioned by another famous paper by Bonan and Done in 2018 in Science, where it was mentioned that climate, ecosystem, and planetary future. This is really the challenge to predict life in Earth systems model. This is a real challenge. And then there was a certain papers which came from 2015 where people have started even talking about carbon fertilization. So when there is an increased carbon dioxide, it will affect vegetation, and that vegetation will affect the water cycle. In fact, very recently there are papers where it has been where we have been talking that, well, carbon fertilization will definitely improve the water use efficiency. That means per unit productivity per unit use of water. So essentially that will probably improve, but at the same time that will not be sufficient, because at the same time when there is a high temperature and so on, so the productivity will get affected because of warming, and that will have bad consequences. So there is always a challenge in understanding how different factors are affecting vegetation and what are their feedback. That's a major science question which is not very well understood. But it is mentioned that at a very high warming, the vegetation productivity will reduce. But what exactly will happen at a lower warming, maybe for the next few decades, which is not very clear. Even IPCC has also said that there is a low confidence in understanding that. Now, the other thing is that when you are looking at the climate system, till now, when you are looking at the climate system, we do not understand the feedbacks properly. So if you're talking about climate system, I'd say it's essentially the four spheres: atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere. And each sphere has a lot of components within themselves. And each of these components are connected with each other. And those connections actually cross the boundaries. And that's the way the entire climate system is formed. And we do not understand all the connections. So what essentially happens, this is a Shepard et al. Science paper, where what essentially happens is that when you're considering this state versus stress kind of curve, so when a stress occurs on a specific component, it has to take by itself, because in the model it cannot really, we do not understand all the links. So it will go like this, and the state versus stress curve will be like this. But in real sense, when they are all connected, then what is happening is that when there is a stress, then the entire connections, all the connections will try to resist the changes. There will be a lot of local repairs, local generation of links, and that will try to resist the stress. So the state will continue, but at certain point of time, it cannot. So all the links will break and there will be a sudden drop. So typically a system, our system normally occurs like this, but we model it like this. So there is another major challenge. So essentially the point here is that we neglect feedback, but they are really very, very important. And for Indian monsoon, of course, we have been neglecting till 2010 about the land feedback to the atmosphere, but they are really very, very important. And even they are important for extreme rainfall. We know that India extreme rainfall has increased. There is no doubt. But at the same time, in 2012, we published a paper in Nature Climate Change where we have shown that at the same time, the spatial variability of extreme rainfall has also increased. That suggests that local factors are becoming more and more important. That's why extreme rainfall at one region is becoming different from these neighboring regions. And that is what is very important. That means it's not only the global factors, even local factors are important. So, and local factors are mostly driven by the land feedbacks. So essentially, if you're considering the water cycle, we are mostly interested in the large, you can see this large arrow, which is coming from the ocean, the evapotranspiration. But we keep on neglecting is this evapotranspiration. It has a lot of importance, but it normally gets a very smaller size. But we'll try to understand how important is it, why land feedbacks are really, really important, specifically for Indian monsoon. So one of my student, Amay Pathak, who was supervised by me and jointly with Professor Praveen Kumar from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, so we together tried to understand, quantify what is the land feedback to the monsoon rainfall. And for quantifying this, I'll not go into the mathematical details because we have used Lagrangian method of computational fluid dynamics. I'm not at all going into details, but I'll just briefly tell you what does it mean by recycled precipitation. So let's say if you're considering this box, this is the region. And if you're considering the atmospheric moisture, some moisture is coming from advective from outside. Hello?
Yes, somehow the screen sharing.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. Sorry. So some of the moisture is essentially the advective moisture that is coming from outside, and some moisture is being generated by the vegetation within that region. Now, when the precipitation occurs, a component of it is coming from advective moisture, and the rest of this is coming from the local moisture. So the local moisture generated precipitation divided by total precipitation is known as recycling ratio. That means the contribution from land to the total precipitation. So let us try to understand in India what is the recycling ratio. So if you look into this, so in India, essentially we have a monsoon season that is from June, July, August, September. We consider it as a summer monsoon rainfall because it happens during the summer season, not the hemisphere summer season. So normally, and during these 4 months, we receive 80% of our annual rainfall. So before June, there is a dry summer months because of which the soil moisture is dry. The land feedback to atmosphere is low. You can see it's very low. But as you can see, the middle row, this is essentially the recycling ratio. And you can see that as the monsoon progresses, rainfall increases, the soil gets recharged. And as the soil gets recharged, your recycling ratio keeps on increasing. And you can see that it's around 25%. So 25% of the total September rainfall is coming from recycling ratio, from the vegetation. That means from the evapotranspiration, which is actually huge. That shows that yes, land is important and they contribute quite significantly to a large scale rainfall processes like monsoon also. So it's not only the mean rainfall. Even what we have found is that this was one of the work which we did in Nature Communication very recently in 2018, where we have shown that if you are considering the central Himalayan, central Indian region, over this region, there has been a significant increase in extreme precipitation. And what we have found is that, of course, the highest contributor is Arabian Sea because the moisture comes like this. This is the Arabian Sea region. But the second highest contributor is not this Bay of Bengal or Central Indian Ocean or anything. It is the land that contributes 29% to this extreme precipitation. So this also is a huge contribution from land. So it shows that land is important for monsoon rainfall and its extreme, and we should consider it in a proper way. So now, when you're talking about land and when you're saying that yes, land is important, then the second question which comes to our mind is that, okay, then whatever we are doing on land, that may also have significant importance. And over India, there has been a significant irrigation because India is normally driven by agriculture, and there has been a significant irrigation. You can see over even Kharif season, during the monsoon season also, irrigation has increased quite significantly. And major part of the irrigation is coming from the groundwater. Now, the another important part what we have to understand is that, so really when you need to study this irrigation or any kind of land feedback, we normally use model. So we use regional land atmosphere model, and when you pick up a land model, we normally use the models like community land model, NOAA, LSM, or VEEC or any model. So normally these models do not really consider paddy. Paddy is one of the major crop in India. Almost 50% is paddy, and in the paddy you have to keep it kind of a submerged condition. It's a pond like scenario we have to make for paddy, which is not really considered in the land surface model. So one of my student, Anjana, was kind of quite interested, and she wants us to try what is happening. So she developed a new module in the CLM to take care of Indian irrigation and paddy irrigation. So what we did, we have used WRF CLM, weather research and forecasting model, community land model, that thing we have taken, and this is essentially the domain which we have considered. Now we have considered control simulation, where there is absolutely no irrigation. Then we have considered realistic irrigation, what exactly is happening over India, the irrigation census data, paddy fields. And the third one is that idealistic irrigation, what is actually available. Let's see, if you monitor soil moisture, find out when the moisture goes below certain value, start irrigation, stop when it reaches a certain amount, and so on. So that sort of things are not possible in India because mostly the soil moisture sensors are not affordable by the farmers. So this is the real, and this is what ideally should happen. So you can see that we are actually, of course, using a lot more water than what is needed. So what is its impact? So when we checked it with September rainfall, what we have found is that, yeah, it has a lot of impact. So ideally, we should expect very high rainfall over the Central Indian region if you consider ideal irrigation. But as soon as you are doing this kind of irrigation, then the rainfall band is moving towards the northwestern region, and of course this is related to a lot of processes which we have explained in our paper in GRL in 2019. But the important part is that what I'd like to mention is that, yes, if you do anything, if you change your water management on land, it has a feedback on the atmosphere, and we have to be very careful. We have to consider in a proper way for any kind of water management strategy. Now, the last part of the work which I'm doing is that, we're trying to understand, of course, there is a hydroclimatic variability and change. And when it has impacts on vegetation, and vegetation also try to strategize or acclimatize whenever there is a change in climate. And when there is a change, that has also a feedback. And that will again affect the high variability. So we are trying to model that. So what we consider, we have again used weather research and forecasting model and CLM, and we're trying to understand if there is an inter-annual year-to-year variations of the vegetation and leaf area index, what sort of feedback it gives to the monsoon. Because when you are considering monsoon simulations or monsoon modeling, we consider a constant, it's a climatological leaf area index. We do not consider year-to-year variation in a proper way. And we wanted to check again the same thing with some statistical method. So when we did that, what we are finding is that the first thing what we are finding is that if you are considering the climatological LAI and if you are considering the varying LAI actually giving the results which are very close to observed. That means LAI is affecting the monsoon rainfall, and if you're considering the varying vegetation component, then only it is actually matching with monsoon rainfall. This is important, and this is quite high over the regions like over the Gangetic Basin and Central India, where we have Northeast India, where we have found there is a very high recycling ratio. That shows that two independent work is actually giving similar results. That shows that yes, land atmospheric feedback is quite high over the food bowl of India. Now the second thing, this is kind of a very complicated thing, but here what we are trying to understand is that we have used the causal method to understand that how the land variables are actually affecting precipitation. So if you can see that these are different regions of India, and these are essentially the precipitation over those regions, precipitation of region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the sink. That means they are the result, and these are the causes. So we're trying to understand the variability of the causes, which are essentially land variable, like sensible heat flux, then evaporation, latent heat flux, LAI. We are trying to understand how are they sending links or how are they impacting. And we are finding that there is a huge number of causal links which are being generated from the land variables which are affecting the precipitation variability over different regions. And another very interesting fact, what we have found is something, it is very interesting. What we have found is that if you consider this land to atmosphere links, we are finding during the deficit period, when there is a moisture stress, when there is a stress of moisture, we are finding higher number of links. You can see 2009 and 14, these are the dry links, dry years. You can see higher number of links compared to the wet years. And this is quite interesting because if you remember the first figure when you have shown, I said that whenever there is a stress, it will try to resist and it will try to create more number of links to resist. And this is exactly what is happening. So they are trying to create more number of links. So normally I compare it with this kind of example, like let's say if there are 5 friends and there is a, shallow river, they have to cross the river. They can cross the river. If there is not much of current of water, they can just cross the river. But when there is a huge current, to save each other, all the 5 friends will hold each other to cross the river. And that's the way even the nature also works. So essentially when there is a stress, they try to extend links to each other so that they can resist the stress. And hence, land is very important because land is actually extending the links to save the earth probably from the stress. So that's all. So rather than listing the conclusions, I just say that components of earth systems are connected through links. And if there is a perturbation, that propagates to the entire system through the feedback. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for these insights. Quick question, as you were concentrating on the irrigation, I wonder what would it mean if the country is drying out through deforestation, which is already happening over the last 150 or 200 years, and say less irrigation. So a combination of these. What impact do we see there?
So I can give you 2 examples. We published a paper in 2016 where we have shown that because if you consider the past, like 1970, 1980, with respect to that time to 2000 to 2003, there has been some deforestation. Of course, now deforestation has been stopped in India, but officially it has been stopped. We do not know what exactly is happening. But when earlier there was a deforestation, exactly satellite data, when it shows there has been a deforestation, the impact of deforestation has resulted decrease in monsoon rainfall over the Northeast region and Gangetic Basin. And that is because of reduction in the recycled precipitation. So that we have shown with the model-driven hypothesis testing, and we have found that if you do deforestation, it will reduce monsoon rainfall. And at the same time, what we have found is that if you are considering the Western Ghat region, that is another biodiversity hotspot of India. In the Western Ghat region, that contributes quite significant amount of moisture to the other side of the the east coastal region of India. And if you do deforestation over that region, that will also have significant impact on the other side. So essentially, deforestation results into decrease in recycled precipitation and decrease in rainfall. So it has happened over India at some point of time.
Very, very interesting. Perhaps you can post sources like the one you mentioned, either in the chat or in the document. Julia can.
I'll do that.
That would be interesting, and I have one in mind as well, which I will post later as well. Yeah, thank you very much for this insight into a larger region and what interactions there are happening and what influences land use change, so to say, has on precipitation.